All right, let's set the scene. Imagine you're at a student hackathon showcase. The energy's high, projects are being demoed live, and an instructor is about to put a student's brand new e-commerce site through its paces. And what happens next? Well, it's a perfect real-world lesson in why the smallest details in web development can make or break the entire user experience.
So, meet Hira. She's up there proudly presenting the online store she's poured hours and hours into. Now, the instructor takes over the keyboard to test it out. And this is a moment every single developer knows well. That feeling, right? That mix of pure excitement and, let's be honest, absolute terror.
But before we see what happens with Hira's project, let's talk about a feeling we have all had. You spent forever searching, you finally find that one perfect thing, you add it to your cart, and then your browser hiccups, or you accidentally hit refresh. You go back and poof, it's empty. It's so frustrating, right? It just shatters your confidence in that website. Keep that feeling in mind. So Hira's project looks fantastic. The interface is clean, and she's got some really important features working. It has dynamic routing, which is just a fancy way of saying it can automatically create separate pages for categories like female, male, and kids. And under the hood, to manage all the data, she's using a really popular tool called Redux. Just think of Redux as the application's central brain, keeping track of everything like what's in the shopping cart to make sure it all stays organized. So far, so good.
Okay, here we go, the moment of truth. The instructor starts testing the absolute core of any e-commerce site, the shopping cart. He finds a product he likes, he clicks Add to Cart, and you see that little one pop up on the cart icon. Everything looks like it's working perfectly. But then he does one simple, everyday thing, and it's about to reveal a critical flaw. And here it is, the problem in a nutshell. He adds the item, the cart icon updates to 1. Looks great. Then he hits the refresh button and boom. The cart count plummets right back down to 0. The product is just gone. It's a classic, huge bug that doesn't just annoy a user, it can totally kill a sale. So what in the world just happened? Well, the instructor explains exactly why this is a business killer. Imagine you're the user. You finally found that one product you love after scrolling through like page 12 of the search results. You add it, you refresh by mistake, and now it's gone. Are you really going to spend another 10 minutes trying to hunt it down again? No way. You're out of there. You've just lost a customer. But here's where it gets really good. Instead of just pointing out the mistake, the instructor turns this into a fantastic teaching moment. He throws the question out to the entire class. Okay, how would you fix this? How do we make the shopping cart persistent? How do we make it remember what's inside even after a refresh? And pretty quickly, the class comes up with 2 main ideas. The first one is, hey, let's save the cart to a database on the server every single time someone adds an item. The second idea is, well, what about using something called local storage, which saves the data right inside the user's web browser? Both sound like they could work, but they have wildly different consequences. So let's really dig into these 2 approaches, because the choice between them isn't just a technical one. It really gets to the heart of what professional web development is all about. It's not just about finding a solution that works. It's about finding one that's smart, efficient, and can scale up to maybe millions of users. Okay, so let's weigh the pros and cons. Using a database is super robust, right? The data is safe on your server, but, and this is a huge but, think about the cost. Every time a user adds an item, you have to make a call to your server. If you have millions of users all clicking around, that's millions of server actions that could be costing you money. Plus, it can feel a little slow. Local storage, on the other hand, it's instant, and it's totally free because it's all happening on the user's own computer. The only real downside is that it's tied to that specific device. I mean, this visual says it all, doesn't it? For every single click that changes the cart, that database approach could be ringing up a tiny charge on your server bill. It adds up fast. The local storage approach, it costs absolutely nothing, 0. For a startup or any site that gets a lot of people just browsing, forcing every little click into a paid database is just not a smart move. And this leads us to the big reveal. The instructor explains that in the real world, this isn't an either-or choice. The industry standard solution is actually a clever hybrid model that gives you the best of both worlds. The secret is to think about your users in 2 different groups, anonymous guests and logged-in customers. Here's how this beautiful system works. For anyone just browsing your site who isn't logged in, a guest, you use the fast, free local storage. They can add stuff, refresh the page, close the tab, come back tomorrow, and their cart will still be there. It's a great experience and it costs you nothing. But the moment they log in or create an account, you seamlessly grab that cart data from their browser's local storage and move it to your database. And now their cart is tied to their account and can sync across their phone, their laptop, everywhere. It's efficient, it's smart, and it's built for the user. And, for developers like Hera, who are already using that Redux tool we mentioned, there's a library that makes this whole thing almost laughably simple. It's a package called Redux Persist. You add it to your project, and it just automatically handles saving everything to local storage for you. It's an incredibly elegant fix for that guest user part of the problem. This whole scenario is about so much more than just fixing one little bug. It's about a fundamental shift in mindset. It's about graduating from just asking, does my code work, to asking the much more important question, does this experience work for my user? And this right here is the golden rule. The instructor tells the class that your number one priority is and always will be the customer. You have to design everything with empathy, assuming the user knows nothing. They will click on weird things. They will refresh pages by accident. A truly great app anticipates that and creates a smooth, forgiving experience that actually builds trust. So it really leaves us with this thought. A vanishing shopping cart seems like a tiny technical glitch, but it reveals a deep truth about design. It's the small, thoughtful, resilient details, like a website that remembers your cart or an app that doesn't log you out every 5 minutes, that separates a frustrating experience from one you actually love. So think about it. What's one small detail that you've noticed that makes all the difference?